it.
Damn.
You see
Yeah.
it, right?
Damn.
Right there, plain as day. Leo Frank. This nigga is a essay of a child and then wipe out. Right? Put on a t-shirt. A young YT girl, 13 years old. I ain't even gonna say no more, Mo. I'm gonna let you have that. Cause that shit real right there, ain't it?
Yeah. That's
And if
yeah.
you go through the whole thing, you will see where all of the discrepancies when it comes to anti-Semitic and all of that. Because before that, it was none of it. Yeah. This is where they, like I said, they begin to put their money together and pool it against us and take control of the lawyers, attorneys, and use these things against us. Yeah. That shit right there is the truth. Now, as soon as we get back, we need to put his face up there. Leo Max Frank out of Atlanta, Georgia. Well, not out of Atlanta, Georgia, but out of Georgia. He was in the Atlanta area, though. Directed in the
Yeah,
Atlanta
he
area.
was over there, but he was born in Texas.
Uh-huh. That was a quick read right there, right? But that's serious.
And they had the suspects. Damn.
Yeah.
They had the people and then dropped the charges on them and then went and got his ass.
Hmm. No, but true tell is that he was supposedly the one, but then they saying somebody paid the black dude. Who? They you saying somebody did, but who? These are things that they don't even bring out. But they fought hard because they were supposed to, put that rope around them. Yep. Leo Max Frank. And then you'll get to see why this situation with Kyrie Irving, why Michael Jackson was saying what he was saying, why Prince was saying what he was saying. Even what's this dude name to be acting like nothing ain't happening? Russell Simmons. He begged to differ with them with Def Jam. They did him dirty. They took everything, even the name. He can't even use uh, the Russia Rush. He can't even use that. But he keeps saying that those are his friends and all that. Since when, Russ? Because we know that you was in a jam, so you created the Rush card to have people put direct deposits in your account. Not that you could take their money, but it gave you a credit line so you could begin to build outside this country. He don't say he did that. That he built outside this country. That's why he don't got to be here. They talk junk from far. All of them talk junk from far. Mo, you still on that?
Yeah,
That shit a
I'm going
rabbit
through.
hole. Yeah, you got to go
Damn.
deep down to find that discrepancy after the case. That shit's crazy. I hope a few of y'all out there go check that out. Leo Max Frank case, 1913, involving the essay of a young girl, YT, and the T-shirt. He T-shirted her. Yeah. And this is where you get your first insertions of them triple K boards. This is where they come out. Yeah. Eyes for a moment. Damn, I'm still talking about it more. I forgot you was reading that shit. That shit just
Oh,
interesting
that's
though.
tough. That's tough.
Yeah, that's dagger work right there, man. Word up. That's satisfying. But
Then they
somebody come and
already
tell you,
got him. They already got him apprehended and then trying to act like they figuring it out.
right.
Like, what you trying to figure it out if you already think he guilty? What is there to
That's
figure out?
because that's them hat boys putting pressure on them. You know what I mean? Small hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they putting pressure. Yeah. And then they be having like two or three different write-ups, you know what I'm saying, from different perspectives. But the best one that I ever heard speaking, because I heard it word for word, you know what I'm saying? This was 1993, the Baba Stephen Coker. Steve Coakley was saying that shit. Yeah, and he was in Boston, Massachusetts. We went up there to him. Steve Coakley. That's my first identification with that nigga right there.
Oh, they got him on the streets.
Yeah.
They got him on street justice.
You see it,
Damn.
right? That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that's when the triple K's pop up. If y'all know what I'm saying when I'm saying triple K. You know they'll try to rip me down. Yeah, but that's different, ain't it?
Yeah. They
So that's
tried
why I be saying,
everything they could. They said, "Fuck it, we just want to get him."
yeah. And further in the readings, you'll start to read that they band together and became the lawyers and the DAs and all of that. Preferably the lawyers. That's crazy. Against us, yo. And be acting like it's not that. No, this is where the problem started at. So all of that crap that Russell Simmons and all of them is talking, y'all don't know the truth. You don't know they got an animosity of us that come back from 1913.
They publicly put him on a T-shirt,
Yeah.
and then when it came time for people to identify him, they said nobody identified the lynchers
Yeah. Nobody.
out in the open, not an electric chair in an isolated room, out in the open
And
with a
these
crowd, and nobody knew who did it.
look, and these small hats watch, they went and called everybody they knew that had influence, and they begin to use their religion and their religious faith and the actual buildings against us as a community in the courts.
Bro, then they took pictures and sold them as postcards. You still can't identify nobody? Come on.
Word.
Yo, games, bro. The games they play.
Yeah. But act like these writings don't exist. This is court documents. Even the writings is crazy because they lead you to the court case. There's a lot of people that write about it because they want to resurrect. Now that these dudes got things stirred up, Kanye and them, people want to resurrect this information. You know what I'm saying? Persecution. Word up. Now we know where it come from. This hate was produced. And they even got some documents where they say the law threatened the brother to say that. Uh, but he's saying what he saw. And they said nobody will ever be able to tell on us again. Because we'll be the lawyers. We'll be the DA. And who you got to use when you go to court. Or everybody was talking about, I got that small hat lawyer. I'm going to beat this. I got that small hat lawyer. Don't even know he designed that way. Yeah. From a case back in 1913. You paying for it right now. That's crazy.
And you gotta have power to let the people go that had the description. Like they fit the description, the evidence led back to them, and then you let them go and went and got somebody else, and you can't even make the story fit.
Yeah. And they vowed, yo, to never let us have a say so in the court system again. Word. They was on some saying somebody that's beneath us, you letting testify against us. This is before the Dred Scott case. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Most still reading. We
Yo,
still up
because
here.
that's how long it's. All of this shit shows how. Look, they trying so hard.
Yeah.
They tried so hard. They tried this, that, that. They said, man, fuck it. I'm about to just get them.
Yeah. That pressure.
And they gotta scare people when you see that much power. And they got, look, we gonna make them do this. We gonna make them do. You messing with the judge, the prosecutor. You messing with the police.
Yeah, you walking right in the police department, the jail, getting niggas. And that's why they were so furious. They was like, you're utilizing tactics that you use on the Negro. Like, are you serious? You're taking a Negro's word over ours? That's exactly what they were saying. Yeah, yeah, but if y'all get a chance, please take a look at that because you'll see why things are the way they are. Yeah. It's no fault of ours. It's not even a fight that we got to pay attention to, really. We just got to get smart and keep going. The smarter we get, the less deception. Let me read some of these comments.
They said, nah, you got the killer that killed the person he was blaming. Like, completely failed by the system.
Yeah, yeah. And they vowed, yo, to never let that happen again. Has it ever happened again? Nope. Nope. Never happened to them again. That was crazy. You still reading it?
Nah, I'm done. It's still some more though. They got some shit about the memorial, the integrity unit.
Nah, you
They
didn't get
tried
to
to
the
do a lot of.
part where they begin to take over the court system and all that?
Yeah, I passed that.
Oh, all right, all right. I just wanted to make sure you laid eyes on that so people don't just think I'm up here just hollering. Like they put their money together, put their kids through certain schooling to become those lawyers, and
Right.
look
Then
how
they
they
made
got it
rules
now.
for getting in. They
Yeah,
made the rules hard for getting in, so, to the point it was like a club. It wasn't
yeah,
even necessarily your education level, or if you know, you're fit or have the capacity academically to stand with them. They made it like a club. Like, we're gonna vet these people on a different angle. Like, it don't matter if you smart enough or you educated enough. We got to know
right,
who's coming in and who's going out.
right. Subjugated. That's what they did. Subjugated you. You can't get in there. People able to make rules like that. That's a large group. I don't care how small they try to make themselves. That's a large group when you can do that. So yeah. I only show this stuff because I don't want people to think it's rhetoric. You know, it's some truth to some of the stuff. I ain't talking about what people running around calling themselves, but I'm saying there is a fight when they're saying it's not a fight and it comes from somewhere. Not only does it come from, their biblical stance, but the one that they're fighting over here is because of the dude I was just talking about, Leo Frank. What happened to soon? He went to get something from work or something?
Yeah, he probably had to pick somebody up or
Yeah.
drop somebody off.
Yeah, we was on Martin Luther. His real name, did you know his name wasn't Martin Luther?
Yeah, I didn't know what his name was before though. I knew he changed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I found out who Martin Luther was, I was like, because he be writing essentials too, just like Erasmus. So I was like, I see why he picked that if he was trying to be a reverend.
They picked it for him. They
We
picked
going
it
we
for
gonna
him.
name you Martin Luther.
Just like they did Muhammad Ali. That's from Muhammad Ali, the one who cut Egypt off. Deuce Muhammad and Muhammad Ali. Then they got one of our brothers named Muhammad Ali. He didn't know that. He didn't. Well, he might have known it. He was very smart.
Yeah, they was just trying though. At that point, they was trying to get in the door, so they ain't gonna know what we know.
They gave us a foothold.
Right.
Even when it come to Marcus Garvey, no matter what nobody say, like they say he went to meet the KKK. He did. to find out what the problem was. He went to ask them, but I can't tell you what happened there. But he says he was going to meet them. I can't even tell you they met, but he said he was going to meet them. He said he wanted to have a sit down. He sent word out. I can't tell you they met though. They say he's a Mason. He was. He was a Mason.
You
But
talking
that,
about the
like I
phone
said,
call he got before he went to the that ceremony or whatever?
who, Marcus Garvey?
Oh, you talking about Garvey?
Yeah, I'm talking about Garvey, where people be saying he's a Mason. He was a Mason, but the reason for it is this is the era where, people are first actually practicing the spook who sat by the door. This ain't the movie or the book. The movie or the book is written for a reason. So these brothers went in there because those were the only schools of thought. Nope, my bad. It was that school of thought, or it was the school of thought from Germany, which was Göttingen University, where you get the three-fifths of the man and all of that in it. That's Göttingen. Where you get genetics. I mean, Dianetics, where you get Margaret Sanger. That's all Göttingen. Or you went to the Mason school and they taught you a system. And when you went and did the research on the system, you found out that the people that they're talking about or the artifacts they looking at look like you, not like them. So you begin to infiltrate and teach it. But that's just one perspective. That's just one person. He didn't tell us to ride with what he said. I don't deal with him because of all of that. I deal with him because of his stance. First of all, that's why I deal with him. The unification of us everywhere across the globe, and how wherever you're from should be funding you. If you are African, Africa should be funding you. If you so-called American, a Thai American, whatever you want to call it, it should be funding you. And if
Right.
it's not, that means you're being dominated by somebody. That was his rule, no matter what. And he was a Christian. So these are some things that we're talking about from over 100, over 125 to 130 years ago. It's almost 150 years. So we ain't walking with exactly what he had at all. But he's one of the first people to point out what the Boule was. Think of the school of thoughts. The school of thoughts, like I keep saying to people, was Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, Rabbi Matthew Bivens.
Yeah, y'all give me about 15 minutes. I'll be back.
Yeah. Those are the teachers, the so-called black teachers. Elijah Muhammad, those are the teachers, the so-called black, Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, and who else did I say? It's somebody else.
York.
Nah, York is years and years and years later. He's way up in the chain. But when it comes to that group, their adversaries are W.B.E. Du Bois, what's his name? It's a whole group of them. Those are the ones that are against him. But also existing in is George G.M. James, George Jackson. These are people that come before Dr. Ben and them. They was in school when the brothers was in there with that Boule garbage, learning from Göttingen. So we can prove where they begin to come back into the community. They got tapes while they gone and with their ancestors. In the essence, their work is still here. This is what we talking about right now, their work. There ain't nothing we making up. We're talking about their work. And I'm talking about it because I went over it before. I went over it several times. And when you match it up with the history, Dr. Ben said he the real Jew. He the original Jew. People think he studied Africa first. Dr. Ben studied get on up. So they think he has a biased opinion because of some African shit. Nah, he was over here first. Right? His travel took him up America, into Canada, down through Portugal, Spain, into Africa, into Cameroon, and all of that. That's how he went down. He took a different way, a different route. It's a broader history when you do it that way because you get to read what other people were writing. We be stuck on what the American writes. And America got nothing but philosophers that aren't even American. These are Greek philosophers, and they talking about they're American. That's the only influence you got, because you ain't got no influence of artifacts, but you use them as your curriculum. That's who they use because all of those are Greeks, the Greek philosophers. That's your only so-called influence you can say. That's why you use them now. All these dudes be in college and they come out of here with their Greek sorority. They don't even be really knowing what that stuff means. They don't really walk that walk. And then they be like, and not to take nothing from you, I'm just saying what it is. They be like, I got a master's degree. Yeah, you got your master's degree. You don't even realize what you're saying when you say, I got my master's degree. Yeah, you got whoever was your master degree. That's
Yep.
ours. That
Yeah, ain't nothing
people.
wrong with going in there and getting information, but you gotta double back. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to double back double time because you can't trust it. You gotta keep
Right.
double checking while other people they can trust they people if they just sitting around the campfire, do a little ceremony and they say, hey, you have turned 16 and now let me give you some knowledge. You can trust them. They've been
Right.
trusting these people for the longest time, thousands of years with no break. We can't do that. So even though we need some of the information they got, we got to go back, when we get out of class and shit and go double check it and run it back. And some of they shit don't add up.
African studies. And then we and not only just go to African studies, find out who is the person responsible for African studies. So you know you studying behind some shit that's official. Like it's some people responsible for you having a place where you could do some African studies in school. And it
Right.
may not be a part of your curriculum. It's separate from yours. You might find some Dr. Ben in there when they wasn't publishing his books. You might find some Ivan Van Sertima in there when they wasn't publishing their books. George G.M. James. There's older writers. There's way older writers. That's why I be wanting to know. I always say that. Who's your teacher, man? Who we dealing
And
with
cooked
as
them
a teacher?
live. Started this debate and shit that we doing. They been did that
Right.
with no cameras. Cooked them.
Cook.
They been cooked them.
Cook the education department.
Talking about pull up on that app. He pulled up to the university
Right.
without the proper credentials and still cooked them.
Did it in Salamanca, Spain. He taught in Salamanca, Spain. And rocked them. And then when you look at it, and he's listening to the teachings of Marcus Garvey. So when it gets to Dr. Ben, he takes the teachings of Marcus Garvey and says, and Marcus Garvey even says he has to begin to update because there's going to be a technology age and it's going to change. So even Dr. Ben knew he had to get on video. He had to switch that up, change it up, do it out in the public so people could see, so the work can be here forever. He knew he had to do it, so that's what he began to do. Like I tell people, it's transatlantic productions. You gotta look them up on YouTube. This is the brother. He's responsible. He's an elder now, but he's responsible for most of the videos you see of any of the elders. Any of the elders. A lot of the stuff with Khalid Muhammad, and he's not even one of those elders, but he's responsible for most of them. When you see Professor Small speaking, when you see Amos Wilson, all of them, all of our greats, Shaka Musa Barashango, Runoko Rashidi, he's who everybody goes to because the curriculum department and cinema and all them didn't want to take this information. The book publishing didn't want to take this information. So that what they created was transatlantic production. It was created in the 60s. It still exists today. All of this information come from him. All of it.
Yeah,
You
and
get the,
another thing people gotta recognize, right? If they don't acknowledge this, then the problem is going to persist over and over in each generation. Because now I'm not going to say that there's not people who don't look like us who didn't try to say what the truth was. They tried, but then when they get the pushback, uh, these ain't my people. So you responsible when you find it to step up and take the L. No matter what happens, you got to step up because you got to defend your history. They did it and they didn't they're not even obligated to do it. So when they back off and you see there's 20, 30 other people who were saying that who don't look like you, and even though they're not popular, they got shunned, they took a deal, took a bribe, they got scared, threatened or whatever, they supposed to back down. We not supposed to do that. When we find it, we got to go full throttle with it.
right. Look, on a scholastic level, if y'all get the chance, look up Mary Lefkowitz. Not sure the spelling of her name, but if you say it, it'll pop up. She's on the scholastic level. She's the people that they hire, like Duke University does a lot of hiring to badger Africa. She's that level. And Dr. Bennett went in there and wiped the floor with her. Wiped the floor.
Say that again. What's the name?
Mary Lefkowitz versus Dr. Ben. It's two other people there, but they was just ridiculous. One of them was in our. This is a white writer. He's responsible for Black Athena, and that's a book. And Mary Lefkowitz came out with a book in contrary to it called Black Athena Revisited, because she's trying to make everything Greek. And
Greek. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's a great lecture from way back in the motherfucking 80s, early 80s. Word up. You had to be disciplined enough, or your pop's going to jump on you if you don't sit there and listen and learn it word for word, because the way Dr. Ben was so articulate. And not only Dr. Ben, I forget the sister name, but I'm going to get it because I got to be able to mention her. She articulated herself so well that the crowd went bananas, because these dudes thought they was doing something by going at her, talking about this. She speak Greek. She was like, I speak Greek, secondary Greek. I also speak Latin, and begin to speak it and